Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first tutorial in this week of tutorials. What we'll be doing in these is each day we are going to give you the step-by-step process to how to make your very own Lego animation. What we're going to be doing is, this is more for beginners. We're going to show you how to do it on the Stop Motion Studio Pro app, or just Stop Motion Studio. They're the exact same, just we're going to be using the Pro, which is what I started with, and that's what we're going to be showing you this whole week. Each day we will be posting the next step to doing it. So today we're going to go over the first steps, which is how to get ideas for your animation and the set, like building the set and stuff. Super excited for this. Now let's jump right into how to get your guys' ideas. Well, to start, there's lots of places you can get your ideas. Right here, right here, right here, right here, in here, or here. What I'm trying to get at here is that you guys can get ideas anywhere. Like, I struggle with getting ideas. I really do. There was this period of time, I think it was like 3 or 4 months, I didn't make one animation. I think I started like Lego Batman 3 or something. No, it was in between the Hunger Games and Lego Batman 2, because I asked so many people, I got a great idea, and then I started and stopped. I just didn't have the motivation, I didn't care, so what I have to say for you is you can get your motivation anywhere. You can go somewhere, see something, animate it. You could go on YouTube and watch a video, then reanimate it with just a new story, like get the main plot line, the main idea. That is one of the ways I made Lego Camping. If you guys can just go search on Google ideas. You can use this channel for ideas. You can also use your own life experiences for ideas. All of these, ideas, at least for me, are hard, and it's a huge step in the animation. And then, another part about it is it needs to be an idea that you're passionate about. If there's an event in your life, then you guys can, that you're really passionate about, you went to a pool and did this amazing thing on the diving board, an amazing flip, animate it. Now that would take a while, but, just animate it, so, yeah, that's my tips for you on getting your ideas. That is the tutorial, the first half of this tutorial for getting your ideas. They're all around you in this. I just see white. I'll just animate this wall, it works great. Okay, so yeah, now let's move on to the next part of the tutorial, which is building the set. This is probably, this is the most important part of an animation, because the set, in my mind, I see the set as, obviously it's like the area you're animating, but also the props, the characters, all sorts of stuff, it matters, the background, walls, little things that matter. This is gonna, this is a huge concept here, because I have a lot of things to tell you guys. So let's go. So I'm gonna split this set part into 3 segment things. So we're going to start with the indoor sets, then we're going to talk about the outdoor sets, And then we will also talk about the... Cut that out. Then we will also talk about the props and characters and stuff. What you will need for certain situations. So let's jump into the first segment, which is the indoor sets. Okay, so the very first thing you are going to need when building an indoor set, or any set, a base plate. Base plates are key to any LEGO animation, whether it's like one of the super small ones or one of the bigger ones like this. You're gonna need a base plate, just saying. So that's what we'll start with. So you need to start on a base plate. Now, when making an indoor scene, you're going to want, so there's two ways you can build this. You either build the walls and then you build the interior scene, or what I like to do, I build the interior scene, then build the walls around it. And we'll get to walls afterwards, but right now we're going to do the interior scene. So one key thing when making an indoor, outdoor, any set is don't build more than the camera sees. You just waste bricks, you waste time. Yeah, you just waste time building it. It just gets annoying. So we're going to start out by placing the refrigerator. Now this obviously isn't the greatest refrigerator anyone's ever built, but still works, you know? So the refrigerator here is 9.52s back. So how I count in base plates now, I could get into the entire like LEGO language. They have their entire language, you know? So let's just count here. So it says 9.52s back, so that's just a set of 2 studs, you know. 1, 2, 9. Okay, so then we will place the fridge here. So first thing you need to do that I kind of skipped over is that you need to decide what interior thing you're doing. Right here, like I told you, it's like we're doing a living room looking into the kitchen sort of thing. You won't actually see the kitchen other than the fridge and a little table counter thing. But yeah, so not doing it. So you need to decide what it is. If it's in a bedroom, if it's in a kitchen, if it's in a living room, if it's in a whole house, if it's in, I don't know. But whatever it's in, you need to decide that. So now we have this little counter thing. And another thing that I found super handy is that if you know, oh, I want to use pieces like these pieces for other things, or that's unprofessional of me. Okay, so yeah. So whatever it is that you're building, you have to just make it look good. That's the same thing. Don't build what the camera doesn't see. So right here, I use like at the end a rounded piece. I did it because I ran out of pieces, but I could have done like white pieces that look like that. But I could have done that exact same thing if I wanted to use the pieces later. So this will go there. That's just where I had it in the animation. So now, for my living room scene, I'm going to be using this couch right here, which is 3 2s over. I think it was like this. I think. So yeah, it's. Wait a minute. Yes, it was. Okay, so now I need to move the fridge over because didn't write that it actually lines up with the couch, just like that. So now we're going to do that right there because that couch goes there, and then this goes right in front of it. So as you can see here in our set, like it doesn't look like there's hardly anything. Oh, why isn't there anything? That has so much in it. Because in the camera shot, you do not see the rest. And so I only built what the camera sees. The camera sees a tiny bit of the table. It sees the fridge in the background. But then this is where I mainly want it to be. On the couches, on the table, just like that. And I'm not going to get into how to build stuff. I can get into that, but not in this video, because one of the best things about animating is that you get to build and show off your creativity with Legos. You get to build your own thing. It's awesome like that. I love doing that. That's one of my favorite parts of making the animation. Now, in this tutorial, we're going to get into walls. So there's a couple ways you can do this, you know. You actually build the wall around it, make it super secure and sturdy, or you do what I learned to do in my last animation, which was a lifesaver. It's not as needed if you're making an animation with only one set, but when you have an animation with so many sets and so much going on, you're gonna want to do this. What I do is I have two huge walls. That's also key. So what I found out with some of my animations that you probably see is that you see past the wall, then it looks crappy, not that great. But so you need to make sure they're extra high, and also so you can just move them around to however big you want it, wherever you want it, and then change the scenery inside of there, and then put it around the scenery, as of what I do. And then with lots of other scenes, I also always have like a thing that I can take off and then easily slide a door in there. Now in this scene there isn't going to be a door, because that's not what I want the camera to see. And so we will be placing the walls here. So I just place it along where I'm actually animating, and boom, right there you have an interior set. It does not need to have a roof. You do not need to go all out, because once again, the biggest thing is do not build what the camera doesn't see. Now you obviously do not want to take a camera shot from here with a bunch of blank space and then just that. And you obviously don't want to look over there, and yeah. Another really great thing about these walls is that you can easily move them. So even with the same scene, if I want to take the camera angle from a different shot, I can easily just move the wall just like that, and now I can take it from that shot. I love having these different, these walls that I can easily take out. And then, yes, they're not secure, super secure together, but I don't have it on me right now, but you can, get a easy piece to take off and just hook it in between those two, and it stays really secure, locked together. It's amazing. So that is the, building the inside of a set, inside of an inside scene for your animation. Okay, now we're going to be getting into the outdoor scenes. So with this, it's a little different, but at the same time, it's the same thing. So instead of walls, you're going to be seeing sky or a background. So, there's a lot of things to consider here. So wherever you're doing your studio is, whatever color the background is, if it's a good color, that's the color you want your background to be, then you don't need to listen to these next steps. Like right here, I have a gray wall right there. But then I've also had white walls and all sorts of other stuff. That's really nice that I didn't actually get into backgrounds until more recently, which is kind of not that great, but at the same time, it still works. And yeah, so unless you love the color of, you think that your animation works perfect with your background already, then you don't really need to listen to these next parts, but I still would. They're still helpful. So there's two main things that I recommend for, backgrounds, your own color backgrounds. The main thing I recommend is paper. Oh my gosh. Okay, so in the Lego realm, I started using what I'll recommend next, which is just base plates. And then I finally got a pack of color paper. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. So obviously most of the time you want blue, or like in the Lego realm, I have the green sky. These are amazing because all you have to do is just tape it up on the wall, and then it won't fall. It's amazing. And then I also, like, in my laundry room, I have an area that so I have it cornered. I have, like, this piece of cardboard up on one end, but that's probably not what you need to worry about. So if you want to do, like, color your background, you need colored paper. That's the easiest thing. It's so amazing. The second thing I also recommend is using base plates. Like for the Lego realm, I started using base plates. The only thing that's bad about this is if you're limited in base plates. Because base plates are only so big. Compared to the piece of paper, the piece of paper is quite a bit bigger. And, with the base plates, you can add on to it. Not too well. So I would recommend these if you don't have access to colored paper. So yes, that is my second one. It does get a little annoying because sometimes you can't tape it up and then it falls. I had one time this whole scene I had to cut out from the Lego realm because I kept animating and I didn't realize that one of the base plates fell. And it demolished half of the set. Then I put it back up when I realized and just kept animating for some reason. I wasn't being too logical there. And yeah. So let's get into the set. For this next part, I'm just going to use this set that I've already designed for the animation I'm making. And then we'll get into designing this set as well. So I have this right here. So another thing you want to think about that you guys probably don't notice this in my animation, but it makes a huge difference, is that you need to match the color, so that's the closest color to that base plate with paper, and then color and cover it around. You do not have to do this, but when doing that, it makes it a lot more realistic and looks like the whole world or the whole animation is like that, rather than just the base plate standing out. So in my earlier animations, you could tell that it was just the base plate, then you could see around it. And that was fine, but then it doesn't give it the real life feel and whatever. So you also will try to want to get that colored paper, or I guess more base plates, to surround it that's the same color, and so it looks like it's all one world, rather than that's like a little island and a bunch of other stuff. That's how I think of it. So now let's get into building the set. So we've gotten into the sky, the background little stuff. Now let's get into building the outdoor set. So this is not too hard. You don't have to worry about walls. You did have to worry about sky and stuff now. So once again, you can only build what the camera sees. Don't build what the camera doesn't see. It's just a waste of your time. So let's get right into this. So we're going to be building this scene where these people are going to be walking through the forest, let's say. So let's build the forest. Now, a forest is actually like a pretty okay thing to build, you know. So you have to have some trees there. And it depends how zoomed in your camera is. If your camera is a huge angle, then you're gonna need a long line of trees. Something I do not suggest doing is putting trees on both ends, because once again, the camera doesn't see it unless you're going like watching them go through the forest on both ends and stuff, but that gets super hard to animate. So once you've placed your trees, you're going to want to place like some little plants, like just some little background things that people probably won't realize. And so yeah, you place those plants and bushes and all sorts of neat stuff inside of there. And then now, let's say you want to do this for a trail. Now what I'm building the trail out of is tiles. Don't do it, okay? You can see that I attempted to have people walk on tiles in my Life in Legos. I think it was part 2 or 3. I attempted to have them walk on tiles. Don't do it. It is terrible. Like, it is so hard to do that. And so unless you're like really, really good at animating, then do not do it. I rarely ever do it. I try my best never to do it. Sometimes if I want a door to swing outward, then I have to put tiles on the door, and then they have to walk like a couple studs on it. But yeah, I suggest not to do it. Okay, so now just building it, like, the pathway can be however you'd like, and now it's super easy. That you don't have to worry about walls, but all you have to do is put your camera there. You got the background and everything there, not there right now, but then you can easily just animate your guy walking across that, and that is the outdoor set. Now let's move right over to the props and characters. Okay, now we are here in the props and characters thing. All I'm going to be using for this is my bin that I consider minifigures on this bottom. I also have the top, that's what pieces, but this is going, like, this is where everything is, props, characters, and everything. So, to start, you don't actually need a minifigure character in your animation, but for this week, I am going to be showing you tips and tricks on animating characters in certain situations and stuff like that. So, I say try to get a minifigure. All you need is one minifigure to make an animation. All you need is one Lego brick to make an animation, or a brick film. So right now we're going to be building Iron Man from the latest Avengers Endgame movie. So I'm just going to collect all of his pieces here. I have Tony Stark's head there. I have him inside of his suit, outside. That's cool. And then we are going to find his Iron Man helmet right there, just like that. So this is going to be our character in our animation. Now we have to think of what props he needs. So this depends on your scene. If you're doing an inside scene like in the living room that we built, then you may want maybe some cups and books. And so you get some cups and maybe a book. I don't actually know where they're. I know I have some books in there, but I'm not gonna find them. But if you're going outside, maybe you'll still want water, like I have this water bottle somewhere. I have water bottles. Like maybe you'll have that, or maybe you will have, for some reason, like a broom, or you're making some sort of comedy thing. He has a guitar, or he has some dynamite for some reason. I don't know. Well, let's say that we're gonna do an outside scene and Iron Man's going to battle. Let's give him this cool sword. Even though he has his powers, we're gonna give him a sword. So if you want to do like a battle scene, you're gonna need to get battle stuff, you know, like swords. And just know what you're animating. Get the props and characters you need for that. There you go, you guys. That was the very first tutorial on how to get your ideas and tips to building your set. I am not telling you how to build it, just giving you guys tips, because your set is you. That's the entire animation resembles what you can do, your creations. These are just tips and tricks to what I have found is awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching. Give a like, tell your friends, and wait, and be ready for the next tutorial tomorrow.